Hello, everyone. It is me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Pearl. And we are here to look at the balance between divine masculine and divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see change, we do need to shift and change the energy within. And hopefully, my readings help you to shift into a state where you are no longer attached to the outcome, because that is where you finally achieve some mastery. And it's not easy. It's very difficult. If it was easy, I think I would have a lot more accomplishments under my belt over the last few years than I do. So I decided to jump on a live today. Abby, oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. I decided to jump on a live today. Oh, Ten of Swords. Because of the Ten of Swords. Because I feel, and I titled the video here on YouTube, a disturbance in the force. But can this disturbance actually create the momentum we need? And frankly, I don't know. So I haven't even really shuffled any cards yet. I'm just going to look at what's going on, what's causing this, where it's coming from, how it's manifesting in relationships or career or it's kind of an everything reading. If you want a very thorough look at divine masculine and feminine energy, hop over to my Tuned in Pearl YouTube. I actually did a full-length reading yesterday, so go check that out. Today we are going to just kind of shuffle cards and see what comes out. So the first card that just popped onto my desk, and I'm not surprised to see it, it was actually the underlying energy of the masculine in the reading from yesterday, is the Five of Pentacles. And this is absolutely the energy that I think I'm experiencing when I'm saying there's a disturbance in the force. It feels like energetically in the collective, we were coasting just a little bit. We hit in that new moon energy. Now, some of us were not coasting. Some of us have been struggling for a while in various ways. And I've honestly been struggling with Five of Pentacles energy for a minute. But I was feeling more regulated nervous system wise. And I really think that when the new moon hit this past weekend, it required new outlook. It required new ideas about where I want to go and how I want to do that and all of that kind of stuff. And I think this is a collective experience because I'm having people text me that are going through it. I had some people pull away energetically on Monday. And it just seems like what was kind of going a little bit smoothly or seemed like it was going in the right direction, just suddenly the bottom fell out. And the only explanation I can have for that, for my own personal experience, is that there is still, no matter how much I have worked on it, there is still this very deeply, deeply rooted lack mentality that is just really, really, really in there. It's got its fingernails in us. And I think we can see that in the media. I think we can smell it in the air. I think I have to keep reminding myself that for the matrix to keep reminding us that there is scarcity allows that infrastructure that we have created in our society to keep manipulating the system. If you create lack, then you drive up the prices of things, right? So it's not real, though. It's an illusion, the illusion of supply and demand. And this is true even energetically. I chose the Crow Tarot because I feel like there is something that is here that is part of nature's cycle, like I said, with the moon. But also because crows for me usually like bring warnings or messages from like specifically the parts of us that are trying to like caution us in how we think or look or approach the world. So I was called to choose the Crow Tarot to look at this energy today. But we are in a Five of Pentacles energy. We are lacking something. We are maybe feeling abandoned. We are feeling separate. We are feeling like we are alienated on the outside looking in. That's the disturbance in the force. Okay. So let's look at how that might be affecting us in our relationships and how it might be affecting us in terms of our abundance. or career, however you want to look at that. Okay, so relationships, pretty clearly it's leading to no movement, no motion, and no communication. There is something that has pulled back or prevented the momentum from continuing forward. And I think it's interesting because I intuitively titled this video Disturbance in the Force, but is it enough to create momentum? Because I think that when we have these moments where we feel like we're kind of bottoming out, we're upset, we're depressed, we're having these emotions come to the surface, what's really going on is that we are clearing out something that is preventing us from being able to achieve what it is that we've been trying to achieve. And we kind of fight and push and resist the discomfort of the new. And I think that's what's been going on. Like, something new is happening and it wants to happen, but all of those old stories, and that was a theme from yesterday's reading, all of those old stories still have this grip on us. So if you've been experiencing lack in connection and relationships, specifically in regards to communication, being given silent treatment, ghosted, left on red, like all those things that happen, there's this resistance to being able to like see a new outcome in regards to it. So that's how the Five of Pentacles is affecting us in terms of relationship. And in terms of our abundance or our career path or like where we want to go, what we want to do, we have a transitional energy coming through with the Ace of Swords transverse, meaning we're not quite clear about what we want, but we're also not confused about what we don't want, right? Like, we have definitely made an effort to cut away things that we don't want to experience. But now we're kind of in a void of like, well, if I don't want this and I do want this, how do I get there? And we're still trying to be the one that's like driving the chariot, basically, instead of riding in the chariot and trusting that our higher self has already arrived at the place where we want to be and knows the way. We second guess the path and we grab the reins and we try to steer the direction that we want to go, and we don't stop and ask for directions. We have a lot of ego, and we've decided this will work, this won't work, and we kind of got stuck in that energy. So that's what's going on. Not great. Okay, let's bring in some guidance for each one of these cards. Now, first, let's just look at the disturbance that exists in the force, so to speak. Give us some guidance here around this Five of Pentacles energy. Let's ask a couple of things. Where is it stemming from? And what actions can we take to soothe the emotionally reactive thoughts that are coming from this wound? Because it's most likely a wound. So first, where is it coming from? We've got the Ace of Poles. This is from the Labyrinth Tarot, and this would be the equivalent of a Wands energy. Now, the Ace of Wands is that you want something very much. Look how much this figure is grasping at this wand here. Really, really clinging to it very, very tightly. So if you want something so bad that you can taste it, it's going to have an effect on you. And it's either going to be a positive, motivational kind of a thing that like lights a fire under you, which is what the Ace of Wands is about, like that spark. Or it's going to end up being something that if you desire it so badly, the only thing you can notice is the lack. And I think that's what's really happening here with the Five of Pentacles. You want this Five of Pentacles to go away so badly. You do not want to be in the energy of the Five of Pentacles. You want to never see this card again. Bye, peace out, unless it's in the reverse telling you that it's no longer a problem for you. You want it so badly. But you are constantly noticing how it's still here, right? You might acknowledge certain advances you've made in your spiritual journey. You might say, I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for this. If you're like me, you'll be complaining to your GPT that everything that comes is just a trickle and you never get a flow. And a lot of things that are given to you are just taken away. So you're constantly noticing where it isn't. And unfortunately, the way that this reality seems to work is that whatever you observe and put a lot of energy into really starts to shape your perception. Your perception starts to become emotionally charged thoughts. Your emotionally charged thoughts start to become beliefs. Your beliefs, repeated over and over and over and over again, become convictions. Your convictions cause you to set your expectations. Your expectations cause you to focus your energy on the outcome of the expectation. And then the outcome matches your expectation. It is a lot of people will say, but well, yeah, but I expected that to work out better and it didn't really. You consciously may have expected something to work out and it didn't. It was disappointing, but unconsciously you expected it not to work out. You might have been trying to like affirm your way into this is going to work. You might have been trying to like, overlay these old ideas with these new ideas, and you should be doing that. That is good work. It is working. It's just very subtle. But the old convictions are dominating, and it's only because you've fed them with these emotionally charged thoughts for so very long. So that's where it's originating from. Now, the action to help dissipate this specific energy, bitch, not the tower. I say that I title the reading Disturbance of the Force. Is this enough momentum to change things? And the tower's like, bitch, try me. The tower is letting yourself be so uncomfortable, noticing your discomfort so much that you have to let go of something. A lot of times you'll be at points in your life where you're like, I wish an asteroid would unalive me right now, and maybe even have more ideation than that about unaliving. And what I say to that is that you actually do want to unalive a part of yourself, not your whole self, because that's the antithesis of your survival instinct. You want to get rid of the part of yourself that is insisting on seeing lack where there is only abundance. You do want to unalive that part. And this command is telling you, go ahead, unalive it, let it go. Let it go. Now, we will get more information about how to let it go, because I think this is going to be probably the theme of this entire reading in a moment. But the directions, the instructions here are, you want this so much, let it go. We're going to figure out how to do that in a minute. But now let's go through each one of these areas. We had in love, the way that this lack is manifesting is lack of communication. So let's do this next. What is the origin here? Why is there a lack of communication in this relationship that you are trying to cultivate? And what actions can you take to help yourself release whatever emotionally charged thoughts are causing you to experience this? Oh, my God. Rude. Okay. So where is this lack of communication in your relationship truly stemming from? We have here the Knight of Junk in reverse. That's not exactly where it's coming from. I don't know where else it could be coming from. So first of all, love that the pentacles in this deck are called junk, because it is kind of nice to have a deck acknowledge that the material, the things that we care about so much, they're all impermanent. At some point or other, it's going to become trash. The most beautiful art piece in the entire world is likely going to disintegrate in time, and eventually it will just be junk, right? Like it will be something that no one understands and its original purpose or meaning, and it fades away. The material is intentionally impermanent so that we can constantly change. 5:05 on the clock while I'm saying that, which is all about change. Impermanence is important. Shiva is the destroyer, but Shiva is also the creator, because you have to destroy things to create new things. It's just the nature of the beast. So junk is appropriate. Now, the Knight of Junk is somebody who is moving so slowly. Look at him pushing these boulders here. This is hard work. This is an uphill battle. And those boulders are probably going to just roll right back on you again. This is what it has felt like for you in this relationship. It has been slow moving, perfectionistic. The person who has been, solid and reliable in terms of your focus and your energy, they are stopping along the way to see all of the sights, and they are not in any rush at all. And that has really made you feel lack in terms of relationship. Now, the problem with that is, again, this is all about perception. Right now, you're perceiving the slow moving energy as a lack of interest, a lack of intent, a lack of attention, a lack of love. And there isn't a lack of love here. When I see the Knight of Pentacles, what I know is that there is somebody here who is solid, stable, and reliable in terms of the way that they feel about you. This might mean that you have gotten to a point in your life where you feel very loving towards yourself. You reliably trust yourself, believe in yourself, uplift yourself, right? And the person who matches you sees you this way, also sees you as solid and steady, but their lack of movement, whatever it is that's got them dragging their feet, which has nothing to do with you, by the way, because again, they solidly, reliably feel that you are an incredible, attractive energy. I can feel that 100% as I'm doing this reading. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But you're perceiving their behavior as a lack within you, and that's where you're kind of going wrong here. That's the origin of no movement in this relationship or in relationships in your life in general. Now let's look at the action. What actions can you take to improve your emotionally charged thoughts around relationships so that you can get a different outcome? Queen of Wands. All right. So the Queen of Wands is passionate. She's creative. She holds the vision of something. She knows who she is. She's confident. She is bold and daring and filled with life and fire and energy and so magnetically attractive. She is irresistible. You cannot resist the Queen of Wands. She's somebody who could literally commit a crime in front of your eyes and you would be like, she's great though. She did that with so much style and flair. Like, I love it. I'm here for it all day. Like this, she could inspire millions. She could be a cult leader. Like, she has this energy. Okay. Now, this very interesting thing is that you look at this energy as somewhat scary. Look at her. She is supposed to be one of the most attractive queens in the deck. And this bitch looks crazy. Like, what is going on? What is she wearing? What is she doing? She's got this scary, intimidating aspect to her. So your action right now is to not fear your own power. It's to not fear your ability to envision something really fulfilling in a connection or a relationship and be scared that you can't make it happen. It's meant for you to understand that there isn't just one solid, reliable suitor that's dragging their feet. There's plenty of suitors that would be ready to run up to you and be in your world. Like, you might be missing out on all of the different options because you're afraid to see yourself as truly magnetic as you really, really are. Okay. So just like the Tower, we're going to get deeper answers for this action so I can give you some actual things you can put into practice in your daily life. But let's get this final. Oh, you know what? It's so interesting because I had already pulled an action card and I forgot. It's so interesting because it's the Four of Swords and the Four, or the feathers in this deck. And the Four of Swords is all about faith. And it's about, even in the silence, even when there is no one speaking, having the faith that your prayers are being answered. So even though these feet are dragging and you're not seeing the evidence of this junk appear before you, it's on its way. So I think forgetting that I had pulled this card and pulling the additional Queen of Wands, I think it's important, because I think if I had just held up the Four of Swords and said, oh, just have faith, it's coming, whatever, I think that would have been really, really dissatisfying. So I can see how the deck was like, no, you need a little bit more here so that you can tell people that the faith that you're resting on is literally on your ability to create worlds, your ability to create the world that you desire. You don't have to trust in a benevolent God or gods. You don't have to, believe in a myth. You can believe in yourself. Like, you are real. You don't have to have some kind of woo-woo spiritual belief to believe in yourself as capable of being able to attract exactly who you know is going to be the best person to communicate with you. So we're going to get a little bit more about that in a moment. Let's just do the final card here, how the lack is showing up in terms of abundance or your career path. So just to revisit this, because I do see we have some new people here. This came out transverse, so it's not quite one way or the other. So you're not quite clear exactly how abundance is going to come in, and that goes back to you wanting to drive the chariot and thinking that you need to know how. You don't. You're also not quite foggy about what you don't want, and you've made an effort to cut out what you don't want, but you're having trouble focusing on what you do want. And I think that's because if you fear being your full self, if you fear your authenticity, if you fear your ability to be attractive, if you think you might be intimidating in this role, how then would you be able to actually see a clear path to getting there? Because you're afraid. So your ego is going to protect you every step of the way. And that's why this energy has to be transformed here. It needs to be upright. You need to have see clearly that your future is possible. So let's look at the origins. Why are you not quite sure about what direction to go in? Where's that coming from first? Let's look at that, because that's helpful to know. This is hard for you. You're not even like giving me this. Give it to me. There's a lot of uncertainty here. Okay. Okay. And what action do you need to take to change these emotionally charged thoughts about this? I'm going to give that one too, because it was there. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. This is why I do readings when I'm in a shitty mood. Because they never disappoint. Oh my gosh. So basically we have here, what's the origin of your lack of direction? Knowing what you don't want and being very good about cutting out people that don't bring what you want, or cutting out, opportunities or jobs, or wasting your time or energy. You're really good at that right now. So good job. Like this is definitely, this being like this for me is showing me that you're not completely in the dark. Like, and you've been doing a good job of cutting out behaviors or people or whatever it is that has been keeping you from being able to get to that point you want in your life in terms of abundance, etc. But the reason that you're not quite clear yet, we have the Page of Junk again, which is Page of Pentacles energy. And then we have this very interesting 10 of Cups energy, okay? 10 of Cups is spiritual fulfillment. It's so beautiful. It's everything you could ever have desired or imagined. The Page of Pentacles is little teeny bits, not the whole thing. I mentioned the trickle instead of the flow when I was talking about abundance. Like, for me, I do a lot of work and I get a little tiny bit of a return, and it's just enough to keep me doing it. Like, I haven't been doing readings now. It's been, I think the last reading I did for the collective before yesterday was in May. And that's the longest I've gone since 2020 without, I used to read every single day. Thank you so much for following me. I'm seeing people following me. Please make sure you're also following me on Tuned In Pearl YouTube, because I do full-length readings there. And this reading is actually being streamed right now to YouTube. So if you didn't see the beginning or you can't stay for the whole thing, you can hop over there and subscribe and catch me over there. You can also go to intuitiveliving.info and take a look around. I have been building that center for 5 years now. And this last year, I put a lot of effort into actually getting the pitch deck ready. So all of that is underway, and there's some really cool stuff over there and some promising things coming in the future. And I'm at this point going to take a moment just to ask anybody who is interested in seeing me continue to do readings every day, and be able to get these insights virtually for free. One of the ways that you can support me is joining at the membership at C. Astley for $5 a month. And I wish I didn't have to ask for money. If I never had to ask for money, I would never do it because I really hate doing it. But one of the reasons that I haven't been able to read is because I have been stretched so thinly trying to survive, and I should not be in survival mode. That's what this sword is all about. My clear path to stability comes from people who are benefiting from hearing these messages and helping support me. $5 is now less than a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, which is crazy to me since that bitch used to be $1 to get a coffee there, but it's so minimal. So please go support me over there today. I appreciate all of those of you who are already doing that. Thank you so much. Okay, but this idea, this beautiful idea, the abundance you can see so clearly, you can imagine, it only comes in little trickles. And it also seems to require all of these steps. Now, I have issues with executive functioning. Like I could go apply for public assistance, but that would require that I had the executive functioning I needed to be able to